Hey guys, welcome to your general tarot reading for March 2018. I know some of you missed me in February. Thank you so much for your calls, for your messages. Those of you who are connecting with me via Instagram and really supporting me during that time, it means a lot. I needed some time out to really go through some changes and transitions that were happening in my own life. I've moved home, for example, but also just doing some really deep spiritual healing, shadow work in order to really clear myself, to become a greater channel of, intuition, compassion and guidance, both towards myself and everything that's going on in my personal life, but also to really impact this space and to be of great service to you. I feel like things have gone to the next level for me personally, and so naturally I felt like this space needed to reflect that. And so I'm changing the spread that I normally do away from the emphasis so much on like what our wants and desires are towards a more soul-based, kind of purpose-based focus, because I feel like we can pursue our desires. We can pursue, from at that ego level or personality level, we can pursue the things we really want, get them, and still feel dissatisfied or still be chasing the next thing. So I feel like it's a bit broader for us now. I think we're ready to deal with the soul growth, the karmic lessons, the personality transformation to make room for our true soul selves. And so hopefully you really vibe with the way that I'm going to do the spread. I am playing it by ear, all intuition, all channeling. So we'll see how that feels and just vibe with each other how we normally do. As always, if you would like a personal reading with me, you can get that at my website, nicoleblack.com/services. And you can work with me either in person, you can get video call from me, and you can also get an MP3 tarot podcast from me. So 3 different ways of connecting. So go and check out the website if you would like something personal, nicoleblack.com/services. And for now, we're going to get straight into your reading. Okay, Aries, so I didn't get to do your general tarot cards for 2018, the overall energies in January, but I'm going to do them now because I think that those messages are still relevant and early enough in the year for you to make use of them. The first card is actually already out, so I'm going to continue shuffling. What is the overall energy for Aries this year? One more card, Spirit. What's the energetic theme for 2018 for Aries? The energetic theme. Wow. I don't think those are your cards though. I think to feel that. Okay. There we go. That's so interesting because I thought you would, I don't read these cards in reverse for the record, but I had a feeling that you would get all 5 sign cards coming out from the Osho Zen Tarot deck, and you did. And I just want to pull a couple more cards. How can you best make use? How can Aries best make use of this energy? Okay. Cool. So I just took a sip of water and spilled it on myself, as you can see on my top, and I am not changing. So that's just gonna have to dry in the course of the reading. So dope cards, like I said, for you guys. I particularly loved that the energetic theme for the year all came through as fire sign cards. So what I can see in the possibilities card here, what this feels like to me is like, using kind of sports terminology, it will be like playing the game of your life in the home court right now. And I think that's super, super dope. It feels to me like almost as though the energies of this year are gathered around you, they're supporting you, they're honoring who you truly are. I feel with the possibilities card, this is very literal in the sense of a lot of new opportunities coming through for you, Aries, but it's dependent on you having really sharp, clear vision right now. So I see the eagle at the top of this card being a kind of animal, a preying animal, and stalking in some ways, scanning the horizon, looking for its next kill. And I feel that that's the approach that you need to take to this year. There are possibilities in the sense of there are kind of a limitless number of things that you could do. There are different ways that you can direct this fire energy that's come through so strongly this year, but you need to be really specific about how do you want to channel that energy? What do you really want to move towards? Pentacles, and particularly like what your purpose looks like this year. I've been saying that it isn't just about what feels good to you. You need to understand who you are. I'm feeling this concept of like understanding your true nature so that you can act accordingly. You know, if the bird, this eagle, were trying to walk on the ground, you know, looking for its prey, it would be hindered, you know, it wouldn't be very effective at it. But by embracing its nature and therefore its design, i.e. having long wings, a widely extended kind of wing length, it can do what it needs to do to be the best of its species, let's say. And I feel the same for you, Aries, that you need to figure out what your emotional, spiritual, mental template is, who you are on a core level, what your fire energy, what that feels like for you, so that you can direct and channel it. Because I feel there's also the stress card here, and there's the potential in this card for you to be trying to almost do everything, almost chasing. I'm thinking of it a bit like you know how a cat will chase a beam of light if you kind of bounce it across the floor. I feel like that could be you this year, kind of chasing each different opportunity or saying yes to everything, and it leading to you juggling way too much and cultivating this stress, which will ultimately be burst. So it is important for you to start to be very clear and mindful about what you're doing with the opportunities that come forward for you, what you really believe is part of your alignment and involved in your purpose. Because the intensity card here is saying that if you can do that, you can move forward quickly. There is momentum, like I said, playing on the home court. The energies are supporting you this year. There will be momentum if you can get into this fire energy. You will be unstoppable. I feel that, but it just requires, I'm thinking about like the bow and the arrow. Right now is the time to be deciding your aim so that you can fly forward towards what you really want. So those are kind of the overall themes. So I asked some questions about how you can best make use of that energy. You got King of Swords in reverse, Four of Pentacles, and Five of Wands in reverse. What I feel here is that, again, this is playing to your strengths, because one of the things that Aries is really well known for is act first and think later, okay? And I feel like this is the card of clear judgment. But this is the card of kind of weighing things up. This is a decision-making card. This is the Judge here. And, you know, this is Aquarius energy too. So there's a sense of like really thinking into the future and anticipating things to come. And this is the energy that is in reverse for you. So I feel like that you need to be very much more in the now, you know, much more impulsive in your decision making, which is what you like. And I feel like it isn't about doing too much mental deliberation, but about really tuning into your heart space and making the decision from that, really feeling with the fire energy, which is your intuition, what is for you and going for it. Because I feel like this could lead to some level of paralysis if you do what is not really in your nature, which is to try and mentally assess what is right for you. What you really need to do is be attracted to the flame. You need to feel where the fire is and go towards it. That's all you need right now, is to recognize where your energy is reflected and matched in the world. Four of Pentacles card is saying that, yes, with the possibilities card, there is a need to relinquish what already exists. You have built something already. You have been working on something. It may be a home situation, you know, getting a home to a certain degree. It could be, you know, education, it could be career, whatever it is, you know, it could even be a relationship. But it feels more, because this is Pentacles card, it feels more kind of money, business affairs, and like practical creative things. This is something that's already in existence, something you've already established, and you may, you know, be moving away from this or be called in different directions, or your energy be diverted elsewhere. The possibilities card. The Four of Pentacles here is saying don't cling too hard to what already exists. Don't be afraid of, you know, the changes. If you've been domesticated, Aries, if you have, you know, got comfortable at home, and I mean home as a metaphor, not literal space, but, you know, if you have over the last couple of years settled into where you are, that energy is about to be shaken up, and you need to give into that, because that's what you're here to do, you know. So go with the changes, go with what is new for you right now, and be willing to relinquish what already exists and what is established. And here it is, Five of Wands. this comes across to me, Five of Wands in reverse comes across to me as self-doubt, as you second guessing yourself and second guessing the decisions that you're making. More fire sign energy. So this is a caution for you. This is saying it's the paralysis energy that I'm talking about. Interestingly, all of these cards in this formation represent that, particularly the Four of Pentacles, because the Four of Pentacles person can't move. They are paralyzed by their responsibilities and obligations, and they are missing everything that's going on in the background of this card. You can see almost the whole village, and they're not participating in the broader community because they are so focused on maintaining what they built for themselves. And so there is a paralysis for all of these cards, and this is the caution for you, because the energy for you this year is all about movement. Even the stress card is juggling, you know, there's movement, so you need to stay in flow. Those are your cards for 2018, Aries. So now we're doing your cards for March this month. Who are you showing up as this month? What's your character this month, Aries? Ace of Wands, interesting. I feel like all these cards are for you. Five of Wands is back out. I'll show you these cards when I finish shuffling. The Devil card and Ace of Swords. Very interesting. What's the context for this, please, Spirit? The Hanged Man is your first card. What's the context for these cards? Page of Swords in reverse. What's the context for Aries, please, Spirit? Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Okay. What is the spiritual lesson for Aries this month? What's the spiritual lesson? What's your lesson? Oh, okay. Feels like these two. The Moon. Well, I'm actually recording this around the full moon, and the Eight of Wands, which matches your yearly energy. Okay. That actually feels very strongly to me already about being able to act on your feelings. That's the energy I immediately got from that. What's the advice for Aries based on these cards? The Star card in reverse. What's the advice for Aries? Six of Wands, Page of Wands in reverse. One more advice card for Aries, please, Spirit. Interesting. And finally, how do you leave the month, Aries? There we go. King of Swords in reverse and the Fool in reverse. Okay, Aries, your energy feels really stuck. I could feel it when I was looking at the cards and, you know, trying to understand what the messages were for you, and it was just not flowing. And I was like, okay, is it me? And you know, meditating a little bit more, tuning in more, and then I realized, no, what I'm feeling is your energy. You guys are interestingly not moving at the moment, and it's for two reasons. Part of it is karmic, and it isn't just you. All of us as a collective, every single sign is going through this energy, but this reading is showing me particularly specifically how it's affecting you right now. But I mean, I see you as a want to mingle, kind of more fun, kind of like more easily flowing, more prone to movement kind of sign. I don't think Aries doesn't really like to be still particularly, so I found it really interesting that you are, and I think that's why the word is stuck for you, because it isn't a stillness, it's a non-movement that feels unproductive. So the first card, looking at your cards for how you're showing up in the world this month, you've got Ace of Wands in reverse. This feels like having lost your power. I feel like you're out of your power at the moment. I think things have happened to you, Aries, that have been a bit outside of your control. Just some upheavals, just, you know, just some changes, like just the natural turbulence that is this thing called life. You know, that's what's going on here, but it has left you feeling a little, you know, outside of your power, outside of your strength. But the Ace of Wands in reverse, this card was always sexual energy for me, particularly the phallus. For some of you, I feel like you've not been sexually active. So it may be less action than you normally have, or no sex whatsoever. And I think this is messing with your energy flow. I think you're feeling a little out of a little in the funk, you know, just like not got your mojo, not got that yeah, I always do that when I see this card, but you know, that's just like a kick that sexual energy gives you. I feel like you're missing that. A bit like how I talk about Leo's, like sometimes as a defanged lion. I feel like you're missing your roar at the moment. And we've got here the 5 of Wands, and this feels like a lack of movement because of, well, it's 2 things. It could be internal conflict. It could be, and it feels not just conflict, it feels like confusion, to be honest. It feels like you just don't fully understand the different things that are going on inside you, and it's moving a lot in different directions, and you're kind of like, what's this? Or it can be external as well. So I feel like it could be dealing with maybe even other fire signs, but just having this kind of like not able to move, too crowded, you know. So it could be too crowded in terms of other people's opinions, desires, wants, getting along with people. It just feels like not, you know, you're not moving. This is a stuck energy. Like all of this is not, if that's really interesting. Okay, so all of this would be more useful if it could be channeled into a single wand in a single direction in the form of the Ace of Wands. Remember, that's also the advice I gave you for this year about how to become single-minded or single in terms of your will and passions, about what you're going after and really pursuing that. And right now you're not doing that. You've lost your power, like I said. I feel like it's an inability as well to kind of go with the flow of things. You don't seem to be rolling with the punches very easily. So I think that's why you got 4 of Pentacles as kind of in your advice for the overall year, because I feel like when things are coming up, you aren't able to just like adapt. There's no adaptation. It's more, oh, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't planning on doing that. It's a very stuck kind of energy. So the reason that this is going on for you is that you've got the Devil card as how you're showing up this month as well. This is karmic cycle. This is showing you that the Pisces season is really doing something to us, but ultimately it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is also about like illusions. And I feel like what it's doing is showing you what you've not been seeing in yourself, whatever you didn't complete last year, whatever lessons that you made some progress on but still didn't get the full picture. This is energy is coming up for you right now. And I think that I pulled a clarifier on it, and you got the Mind card here. I think the issue here, Aries, is that you are trying to process this devil energy on a mental level, and even that is contributing to your entrapment, because the mind can get involved in the illusions. The mind can be a trap, the mind can be circular, and the mind's judgment can be very lateral and linear, and this is a much deeper spiritual energy. This is calling for different skills from you. So this is also contributing to the stuck energy I'm feeling, like you're literally tethered and chained, and you are being asked to redress both. Like, this doesn't feel like another person, this feels like you, masculine and feminine elements of yourself. Okay, so you're being asked to address your energetic balances, your emotional, spiritual. I think I said this in the beginning of your reading, your emotional, your spiritual and mental self. Like, you need to get a grip of who you are, refining your identity, so to speak, and to clear out what is keeping you tethered. Because I see here the Ace of Swords, and it feels like some falsehood. I think that you have been indulging in some illusions, Aries, you know, not being either honest and open with others about who you are and what you want to do with this investment that is your life. But it feels even more than that. Yeah, it feels like lying to yourself, you know, either being unwilling to even start the conversation with yourself about who you are and what you are and why you're doing what you're doing right now. Or if you are engaging on that level, it just seems like telling an untruth, you know. So it could be something like, oh, I don't mind this job, you know, I'm willing, you know, it's fine, it works, and I am quite content. When you know you're not, you know you'd rather be doing something else, you know your skills are elsewhere, you know you can't stand your boss. That kind of like cognitive dissonance, that's the word, you know. And I say that because you have the politics card and the possibilities card. This is your energetic theme for the year again, coming out on top of the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is falsity. This is not showing your true face. This is not showing your true self. This is a masking of some kind. And then the possibilities, the card is saying that there are other things for you, and it requires you to be honest, brutally honest even. But moving on about the context of why you're showing up this way, you get a Pisces card, the Hanged Man. So you are being held in a particular position at the moment, and I've really been reflecting on this card because it's important for me in my personal life. And thinking about the Hanged Man is also an energy of sacrifice, Aries. You are, I don't think you willfully went on this tree. I don't think you're willfully suspended upside down. I think Spirit put you there. You know, like God was like, you're gonna, it's like the naughty corner, sorry to put it that way, but God was like, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna look at this differently. And I feel like there has been there for a sacrifice, you know. This is an uncomfortable position. There is some pain involved in doing this. There is something you have to go without. You know, it is also in some, not, it doesn't express clearly in this, but in other cards and other decks, it can express as kind of like the Christ archetype, you know, Jesus on the cross. So there's this concept of suffering, maybe for the greater good, and that's why maybe why it has the Pisces connotation as well, or suffering on behalf of the collective in the way that Jesus was said to have died for our sins. So in the Christian tradition and belief system, that is. So you are on a tree, on a crucifix, so to speak, at the moment, and there's for a purpose. You're needing to see, to understand something about yourself and the dynamics and the patterns that you've been in. The clarifier on this is the Fighting card, and this is air sign energy. What I think here is that I feel frustrated doing this reading. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel really frustrated, and I really genuinely believe it's your energy. I feel like this is it. It's irritating me, okay? You're frustrated, and that does not support that. Frustration in the Hanged Man energy will be trying to get down, will be fighting, swinging, you know, wriggling off. And you're, like I said, you didn't put yourself there. If you did, you could get down when you felt like it. But Spirit put you there. And so until you get this halo of truth and knowledge, until the Ace of Swords, which represents truth and understanding, comes upright for you, you know, look at it. There you go. It's upside down. But from your perspective and the way that you're hanging, you would see it the right way up. That's what it would look like for you. So until you've achieved this Ace of Swords, you are going to stay here. And the frustration, Aries, is because you're being too cerebral about things, okay? You're trying to figure it out on a mental level, because your next card is the Page of Swords in reverse. This is a much much less mature energy. This is someone who is trying to kind of forge ahead at the mental level they're already at, and this is someone who's kind of like making mistakes, but it's the apprentice kind of energy, so just doing what they need to do to learn as they go along, coupled with the Outsider card here. The problem, it's funny because I feel like the problem relates to an emotional issue and a need for better emotional sensibility and intelligence, but I don't, it's later in your cards, like more in the advice space and the spiritual lesson, but not necessarily in the context of what is happening. So I'm trying to get to the, okay, that's what it is. So I feel like with this card here, you are acting out your child wounds, and that's why you got the Devil card, because the Devil card, like I said, it's the karmic issue, it's the shadow, okay? And it is stirring up for you the deeper issues, the things that are beneath the surface that you maybe haven't finished clearing or working on. Maybe some of you haven't even started. And so with these two cards here, I feel like your inner child, you know, you're feeling some wounds, and you're feeling an energy that isn't typical for you. And I think it's this kind of left out or alone energy, or not being part of something, which sometimes you can be really okay with. You know, you're the first zodiac sign, you're here to identify, to establish your ego and your sense of self. But I think you might be lonely, to be honest, Aries. I think you might be lonely, and I think that this card as well is about, yeah, the immature response to that loneliness, which is to to further go into isolation. So this in reverse feels like no communication. So I think you're lonely, but I think because of where you are at in the cycles of like growth and maturity, your response to that is to continue to nurse that feeling. And it's an odd response, because here we have Queen of Wands and the maturity card. Now this is who you really are. You know, your behavior is something else. Your behavior is a little on the immature side, but who you really are is this Queen of Wands. And there is the potential here, you know, the fire energy. What's happening is that the King of Wands and the masculine element of the Wands energy is about, you know, projecting your energy outwards. It's about achievement. It's about ambition and moving forward and taking what is within. It's like the bridge between it's the bridge between the air sign and the earth sign. The fire sign takes what is in here and materializes it out into the world. The earth sign is when it is taken form, but the fire sign is what pushes it out. And I feel like what you don't have are the masculine fire sign cards, which would be that outward energy. What you have is the inward fire sign cards, which is the potential. But you're not recognizing, I think, that the reason that you are still here and not in a different type of energy, because I think you're frustrated with the Queen of Wands energy, is that there is a need for refinement. It's the Ace of Wands, like you being out of your strength, out of your power. There is a need to clarify the Five of Wands energy and get and refine it, reduce it down to one single purpose. See how the Queen here has one wand? That's what's being asked of you, to get down to one wand so that you can, you know, kind of create purposefully. And I feel like you are not understanding that this is the missing block. That's why you're in this Hangman energy. You're not seeing that yet. And you've got the the Queen of Swords in reverse. I'm still feeling very frustrated. The Queen of Swords in reverse. There's a couple of ways this is coming across for me. Again, the stuckness, the isolation, the not being very not very communicative right now, or just not in very harmonious relationships with people. This is Libra energy. In reverse, this can be lack of clear judgment, it feels like. Also avoidance, in the way that Libra can be very conflict avoidant. This was like the energy of avoidance, mental avoidance. Like I said, not really being honest with yourself about what it is that's really going on with you on a mental level, in terms of what you're thinking and feeling. There's that. And I feel like it relates specifically for some of you to relationships. There can be an unnecessary kind of like, I feel like it's not, sulking might be unfair, but I feel this kind of retreat from romantic relationships, but it could be family dynamics as well, like this kind of like just giving up on doing the Libra communication, which is getting into that harmonious level of partnership. It feels like not doing that. It feels like something has gone amiss, and this could be, like I said, you just feel really out of alignment this month. You feel just like a little shifted too much to the left or to the right, and that's why you're being held here. Okay, so let's move on from this. You've got Aries, the Moon card, and the Eight of Wands as your spiritual lesson right now. Now, let me remind you that the Moon card is Pisces energy, and so is this, okay? So this is what this is about for you. What I was thinking about, and when I think I said that this felt like acting on your emotions when I saw these cards originally. What I've been thinking about is like, what is significant about Pisces as a water sign. And I think being ruled by Neptune, one of the things that Pisces is really powerful for is the dream state, the abstraction of emotion. And I don't mean abstraction as in to take, but I mean to be like abstract conceptually. And what I feel is that there's so much mental struggle with you right now, and I think that's also why you've stopped talking or stopped communicating, because you know that there's a lack of clarity, or you know that you're not coming across clearly, and you know that you're confused within yourself. But part of that confusion is the mode that you're taking towards understanding, because with the moon card here, this is illumination in the darkness. This isn't the sun energy. That's different. That is a different level of understanding. The moon is about the secret, the unknown, and that illumination, the light of the moon is very gentle. It cascades, you know. So there is a time, you know, kind of like how it takes your eyes a little while to adjust to the darkness and to see, even if there is some level of light in the room, there's a different level of focus required to see what's going on. And I thought that's this moon energy. There's an adjustment needed for you to understand the abstract shapes in the room of your life right now, and that happens through feeling. Okay, that happens at the emotional level, and that happens through the intuition as well. Pisces is like one of the most intuitive water signs and zodiac signs in general, and that is, it's very sensory. So right now you're jumping this step because you're trying to compute things, you're trying to understand them. But first of all, you need to just take the data. You need to just feel, be open to the senses of what's happening, because I feel like once you can get whatever the abstract thing is, I want to put a clarifier about what this abstraction is all about. Can we get some more detail, please, Spirit? Okay. Interesting. It feels like what you're needing to understand, or first of all, there's like a lack of movement in the Chariot card, and part of what the abstract thing is like understanding why there's no movement, understanding why you're at a amber or a red light in your life right now. And if you could just tap into your feeling, your emotional body, into your intuition, you would get a sense of like when the movement can happen, you know, when you're able to direct your energy outwards. But with the Nine of Pentacles, this feels really interesting. This feels like a self-esteem issue, and I always talk about Aries as having very high self-esteem, you know, like your ego is quite well intact, but something has happened. There's something that's happened, and there is a need. Okay, it feels material. Something is going on in your material environment that is knocking your confidence, you know, and it's either your achievement or literally your living space, your environment, like just like the way your life is set up in terms of what the spaces you inhabit and embody, that's making you struggle a bit. And this is what you need illumination on. This is what you need greater clarity on. Like, what conditions make you feel like this? What conditions make you feel your strength? What puts you in your strength and your power? Because this woman is like very accomplished here. So this is like how you get your Ace of Wands back, understanding and seeing what that feels like for you personally. But ultimately, again, like, you know, a powerful person has to lead the Chariot. You know, look at that figure there. Look at this person. It is about you becoming someone who can drive things forward, and right now you can't. So it is saying that once you can understand the abstract issues right now, so these things aren't these things require a level of emotional engagement and a deeper self understanding and introspection. But once you've got clear on them, you have the Eight of Wands, which is like moving forward quickly, fast, speedy achievement. This is like moving and projecting your energy into the world. These are your spiritual lessons right now. It's almost saying that you can't do this without that. You have to act on the understanding of the soul and the spirit. I hope I'm being clear. Okay, so your advice cards, Aries. You've got the Aquarius card, the Star in reverse. Interesting, because the King of Swords is an important energy for you right now, which is also Aquarius energy for me. And this card, the clinging to the past, Five of Cups. More stagnant and stuck energy. I feel like you are almost indulging yourself or just staying put, and just not moving towards the goal, not moving towards the dream. Maybe because you're not clear on it, maybe because you've lost some confidence, maybe because there are some obstacles, and then maybe just some like doubts, you know, coming up about what's happened in the past as part of the karmic energy that's going on for you right now. But there is a need to relinquish it, because you've got the Six of Swords as success, as advice, with the Compromise card, and this feels like the need to see yourself, the mirror. What did I say in the Devil card? That these two people here are you. They're both aspects of you, and here they are again. And it's like how you deal with this energy. Interestingly, this is a 6 and so is this. So how you find the success that you're looking for is by acknowledging the twin, acknowledging the other side of you, acknowledging not just the mental element but the spiritual element, engaging. Even if, and these twins are kind of, all right, I'm going to say they're ugly. No one take offense to that. When I say they're ugly, I mean there is a kind of mean-spirited look to them. And this is what the Devil card is about. It's engaging with the shadows. So even if what's going on with you on a deeper level is ugly, it's okay. That's how you find your successes, by integrating and addressing that. We have the Page of Wands in reverse with the Patience card. This is Cancer energy here. The Page of Wands here is you not moving. It's you not making a move. It's like it's procrastination, avoidance even. That's what it feels like. More of this kind of stuck energy. But the completion, you got Completion card, comes through clearing up this lack of emotional clarity about what you want to move towards. And I'm not just talking about what you want as in how to kind of satisfy flimsy desires, right? But it's more like what satisfies you on a soul level. What do you want to do with your life force? And that's what you need to be clear about in order to complete this picture. And so leaving the month March into April, you have the King of Swords. I feel that this is about moving out of the paralysis, like I talks about in your yearly reading. This is about, you know, gaining the clarity inwardly. It's inverted, making clear judgments for yourself. And I feel like beginning to confront the parts of you that feel a little hopeless, that feel stuck, and that don't really believe in this energy. You know, this month is about you addressing the fact that you feel more of the Devil energy than the Fool, and that's okay. That's totally fine. It's okay to be where you are right now, Aries, as long as you give in to that, as long as you commit to that, and you get the lesson that you're needing from this particular stage and this particular moment. If you're needing more clarity about, you know, the specifics, and again, you can get a reading from me at nicoleblack.com/services. We can get into the personal dynamics for you. But ultimately, I hope that this reading had illuminated somewhat, and that you felt, you know, that you're not alone, you know, in the frustration and the stuck energy that you're currently in. It's been a red light put there by God, not you. See you next month. Love you much. Mwah.